Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're spreading slurry with the trail and shoe, and ground is very tender. You wouldn't want to be doing any messing about, but we've quite a hectic week ahead of us. We have a good few jobs with the slurry pipe. Today is Sunday and I'm just getting this job out of the way because it'll basically be one less tractor and one less man tied up in the week. But to start our day off, we have a bit of a problem. I'm after bursting a hose on the folding of the trail and shoe. So we're going to have to do something about that, and I'll get someone here to come and pick me up and I'll go and get a hose. Well, here's our victim. I don't have tools with me to rip him off, so I'm getting someone to come out to me and bring a bit of stuff and we'll get it off. I don't think I have it anyway. I'll give a look what I have, but I'm fairly confident I don't. So this is usually what happens when you go working on a Sunday, but like I say, pressure's on, so I'm going to stay going. And thankfully there's a guy that'll do the hoses for me today, so we'll shoot out to him and we'll show you a bit of the hoses being made and all that kind of carry on. Well, we got our hose done. Big thanks to Niall Kirby. He's in Listowel. He does all sorts of repairs, and he does oil and filters and hydraulic hose repairs and that kind of stuff. So Niall got us out of trouble. We shot out him with the hoses and he had them made within a couple of minutes and we were going again. So thanks very much to him. Great service by him and highly recommended. Anyway, I suppose this is my last field for today. Once I get this one blown out, I'll be heading away home, and that'll be kind of it for today. Like I say, I really try and avoid working on Sundays, but I'm just taking the pressure off myself. As much and all as you don't like it, there's absolutely no point putting yourself under pressure on the Monday because you didn't want to work the Sunday. So that's kind of why we're at it, and we'll get this one blown out and it's another one ticked off the list. So I suppose what I'm kind of doing maybe this week and last week to a certain extent, we have been very busy, both workshop orientated and machinery orientated, so I haven't really got the time to sit down and you know, plan what I'm going to film and plan when I'm going to publish it and all that. So for the time being, and just for maybe a couple of weeks while things are hectic and don't slow down, I'm going to give you a sort of you follow me for the week. We'll do a small bit of footage every day. We'll make up a week's worth of footage and you'll have it there in the weekends, then something to watch. So that's kind of my plan for the footage for the next short time, I suppose, or the time being, and we'll see how we get on. So yeah, this is pig slurry mixed with cattle. There's and we're putting it out there around 3,000 to the acre, I would say. So all in all, no marks, and the fields that were already spread in this place, you can see them, they're changed to a blue colour now, so pig slurry is definitely doing its job. But that's it for me from the moment, and I'll see you tomorrow. We'll update you on more of what's going on. Well, hello everyone and welcome. This will be the third day. I didn't film anything yesterday. We were out tanking and I just forgot to bring the camera with me. But anyway, we're going piping this morning and we won't be too far away from home, which is handy in case we've any need to, you know, get anything or sort anything out. It's always handy to be near to home. So I suppose for the next few days we've a bit of piping to do, and we'll be out with the tankers tomorrow as well. I'm just going to fire the two tractors up and leave them warm up a bit because it is fair cold here this morning. Funnily enough, a TM has a very distinctive knock rattle kind of when they're cold, a bit of a stutter, a bit of a stammer. But some tractor to start, always just fire up the first tip of the key. And we'll just stick the CVX on the pump. As you can see, the TVT is on the trail and shoe link. And this tractor was out just splash flooding yesterday. So we'll fire her up I think I showed you this before anyway. These have a heater in them, so it age starting a small bit. Well, I'm just waiting for Slurry to come on now. He's on the pump there and he's priming it and he'll be sending it on, so I've very little to do now at the moment but wait until he's ready to go. So we got on not too bad now rolling it out, in fairness. We're kind of getting a bit knacky at it, so hopefully in another few days we'll be progressing, and I'm definitely going crossing my fingers that we have no knots or twists or anything today, but if we do I'll update you, and if we don't I'll update you as well. Unfortunately I didn't charge my camera last night, so I don't have that much battery left, so I'll spare it in case there's any hiccups. But basically we've our 2 splash plates out, with one either side, and that's how we're going to do it. We'll be splashing at both sides, so we should be covering a good width. But anyway, I'll give you an update once we're up and running and everything's going smoothly. Well, we're flying away. We've only one splash plate working. Funnily enough, the lollipop must have come off the other one or something, so we're just splashing away with the one for the minute. But as you can see, everything is absolutely running perfectly. No problems whatsoever. Touch wood, it'll stay that way. But I don't know if you can see it, the way I'm spreading. A lot of guys don't spread like this, but I'm not crossing over the pipe in any place whatsoever. And the only reason I'm doing that is because obviously I'm not a pro at it, I'm not fully used to it. I'm playing it a bit safe. I'm making sure that I'm doing it the way that that I know nothing will happen. So once I get a bit more into it and used to it, but basically I went to one corner of the field and then I worked my way back, we'll say the right hand side of the pipe, and then I'll just swoop around and do the left hand side of the pipe. But I don't have much to do on the left hand side because I'm going to leave one strip down the field. I'll be able to straighten my hose into the corner and I'll be rolling straight for the gate, and I won't have spread in that ground because the ground here is very, very tender and it wouldn't take a whole pile of abuse. So that's why I'm doing that. So I'll leave one strip up the top of the field, I'll roll up going out that way, and everything should go according to plan. But like I said earlier, my battery is very low unfortunately, so unless I get the chance to run home and charge it, this is probably all you'll see of me today. So anyway, that's Tuesday's update. We'll be talking to you again tomorrow. Well, I forgot the camera this morning, but I'm just after going home for my teeth there now, and I picked it up. One of the best things about this yoke is I'd say I'm definitely going to lose a couple of stone because I've kilometres walked in the last 2 days. But anyway, the joys of it. We're not going too bad. In fairness, we're having a few teething issues. Yesterday we didn't have much pressure in the morning, and we moved the hose around the tank and done a bit of messing, and we got great pressure. After that then, a real fun started. Our biggest issue was our compressor. As it transpired, we only have a compressor hired, and what we were using it for is obviously blowing out the pipe. But we put a sponge through the pipe, a sponge ball. A lot of guys saying not to, but I was just trying to do everything perfectly, and I shouldn't have bothered because our compressor wasn't strong enough to drive the ball all the way, and the ball got stuck in the middle of one of the pipes. So we had air one side and slurry the other side, but we figured it out. Wasn't too bad in the finish. This morning our slurry was a bit too thick for piping. Everyone with a pipe system, like, will tell you it just has to be like water, so that was kind of slowing us down. But I'd be fairly confident we'll finish off this job. Luckily enough, the 2 guys I'm going to next aren't under a massive amount of pressure, I'm just going to stick to it. But anyway, as I was saying, the two boys we're going to next aren't full. So there's no massive panic. We have a tank out today. Luckily my father's off. And probably once we get out of here, the two of us are going to go out tanks as well. And just try and knock out a good bit this evening. And I'll see what tomorrow brings. Not about snow and rain and stuff, but sure we mightn't get it. So we'll live in hope that we won't, and we'll be able to work away again tomorrow. So I suppose other than that, really, I haven't a whole pile to tell. It's a very, very interesting thing. Because you have to be concentrating the whole time, and you're constantly learning. Every move you make, you're learning from it. But that's the way it goes. So yeah, I suppose, look, if anything elaborate happens, or once we get rigged up, spreading and all that, I'll give you a shout. Well, since I last spoke to you, we've 3 fields spread here. Well, I suppose this would probably be they'd all be around this size. They wouldn't be massive. They'd probably be about 3 acres each. But I went straight out into the furthest away one, and I didn't have enough pipe to do all of that. But if I was to roll out another length, if I was to roll out another length, I would have had way too much, and I knew I wouldn't have worked for where I'm going now. So I spread a small bit in the first one. I came into the second one and I spread it all, and that's across. There's a little roadway between these two, a farm roadway, and that's straight across from this one. So what I basically done is, once I got to the top of that one, I suppose the easiest way to describe this, because I know people will be watching this and wondering about how to spread and stuff, right? So I'm in this field here, and we had these 2 fields up here spread. So I hadn't enough pipe to spread all of this one, but I spread as much as I could. Not a whole pile of it, to be honest. But anyway, I came down and done this side of this one first. Now there was a wet hole there, so we avoided that. And remember, our next field is here. And I finished above here. I worked my way over and back and finished in this top corner. So my pipe was either in the middle of the field or in the upper half of the field, and I pulled it up to the top corner, pulled it straight across here, and I was able to go straight through the gate, which is up here in the corner then, and my pipe stayed coming straight. You see, the mistake you can make there is if you're not thinking about where the pipe has been or where the pipe is going to go. If you've done that field the other way around, well, you could always pull your pipe up and go straight through the gap. But if you'd done it below, your pipe would have got caught in the top ditch here, and you wouldn't have been able to pull it through. I know maybe I'm explaining it well or I'm explaining it poorly, but anyone who's doing it knows what to do. But obviously I've been watching videos and stuff, and anyone that was describing it, I didn't have a clue what they were on about, but when I done it, I knew I could understand it. And the basics is, if you're going pulling the pipe, it has to be straight. If you're going pulling the pipe through another field or anything like that, just keep your pipe as straight as possible. And when it comes to rolling up, pipe straight as possible. When it comes to blowing out, your pipe as straight as possible. When the pipe is straight, your pipe won't knot. If basically my pipe is as straight as I'm going to get it here now, and I'm back into a loop here. Now we have a bit of slurry on our back window, but what I'll do is when he starts blowing it out, I'll just reverse down there a small bit, and I'll reverse into that corner down there, and I'll get rid of all the slurry that's in the pipe, because we don't have a desperate amount of pipe out here. But that's the trick to it, and I have a funny feeling that's what beats a lot of lads. Thankfully we've had no twists or knots or anything stupid like that happening, but that's where it tricks a lot of people, where it becomes a problem. Is if you start, like if I go pulling that pipe now when he's not pumping, it'll just twist into knots and knots and knots. And that might be hard for anyone to understand who hasn't done this, but if you do it once, you can see it, like you can actually see how it does twist and how it doesn't twist. So I said I'd share that with everyone, and I hope, look, give me a bit of feedback in the comments about that. I hope that description makes sense, because like I said, look, you can watch a lot of videos about this, and look, I just find it hard to follow up, but when I done it, I was able to understand what way the pipe worked and all that. So if you can, if you understand what I'm saying, let me know. Obviously I've finished over in this corner. As I told you, keep your pipe straight to pull it through gaps. So I went straight down to that ditch, came up, that didn't matter, and then the next time I was able to pull the hole out of it and it was through the gap. So it's just, you need to think where the pipe's been and where the pipe is going to go. You don't need to, if you drive over that pipe, you don't need to look at it, because it's not going to knot. Once you have enough pressure up, it's not going to knot. But if I was going off into the next place now, I would want to be looking at where the pipe is, and I'd want to be going down there to pull it through there to keep it straight. Because if I came down here and started pulling it through there, then it's only going to go up against the far ditch, if you get me. It's just a bit of forward thinking. One of the best bits of advice I got about it, now, and I didn't try it, but it made sense in my head. A guy told me, he said, get a bit of sewing string or something like that, or anything, kind of a bit of tough bit of string, get an A4 piece of paper, drive a few thumbtacks down through it. They're using different colours. Use one as your pump, one as your gateways, one as your tractor spreading, or sorry, not your tractor spreading, one as your pump, one as your gateways, one as obstacles in the field or whatever, and tie a biro around, the top of the piece of string and work your way around the field, and you'll be able to figure it in. No, if I do this, that won't work. And I just thought it was a very good way of describing to someone how to figure it out. But it's really not tricky. It's not complicated. Honestly, it's more complicated being down on the pump priming it and you know, looking at slurry and dipping tanks and knowing how much is left and keeping the pressure right and all that, and knowing where to put your tractor and pump and all that kind of thing. So that's a bit more complex than what we're doing. I think what we're doing is the easier end of the job, but you definitely have to be concentrating on what you're doing. But so far, look, we're getting on very well with it, and I'm delighted with how it's working when it's working. Like I said, sorry for all the yawning, lads. I was up late last night and up very early this morning, but like I was saying to you, our troubles yesterday was with a lot of trouble priming and stuff like that, and we had problems with the compressor, with the ball, but a lot of guys are telling me don't blow it out as is. So we're going to try that now and we'll see how we get on. I suppose it makes sense what they're saying. Sorry again. It makes sense what they're saying. What were they saying? Oh yes, blow it out with the compressor. You're getting it fairly clean, but you still have a bit of slurry in your pipe, and that bit of slurry will give you a bit of weight, and that bit of weight will allow you to keep a pull on the pipe and keep the pipe tight in your reeler. So that's it from this place. Like I say, we'll probably go tanking there now. It's about 3 o'clock, I'd say, and one tank goes to the place where it's already mixed. I'll go and mix another tank, and I'll go spreading it after. So I'll probably give you an update when all of that is going on. That's my talking when it's not slowing me down. But yeah, as I was kind of saying, look, I see they released their prices there. They seem on the high side, but that's the way it's going, really. I mean, I suppose probably around 2015 or 16 we got kind of serious about going at this, and at that time stuff was the same price as it is now. But if you go back 15-20 years before that, stuff was the same price. Well, go back to the time the euro came in, it was the same price to get a bale of hay made. They've always said around here that a bale of hay, a fiver a bale, that was the going rate of it. But like, who decided that that was the value of it? And when was that decided that that was the value of it? Could that be 40 years ago that it was decided that, yeah, that was the value of it? And what bale at that time? Was it a class 46 on a 7-8-10 or a 7-6-10 Ford or something? The whole rig out probably cost 25,000-30,000, whereas now you'd a modern day version of that would probably be up in 150,000. And like, what price was fuel that time? I'm sure it was a fraction of what it was now. The cost of living was a lot cheaper. That's something that nobody really factors into the whole thing. It was an awful lot cheaper. Get on with your life, build a house and pay a mortgage and all them kind of things. They were an awful lot cheaper. So rates do need to improve. Now, I'm not saying they need to skyrocket, but they do need to improve. And look, I suppose some guys are willing to work for peanuts, but I don't worry too much about them. I get a kind of a kick out of them really, because they always end up doing work for the lads that nobody else really wants to do work for. So that's just the way it is with it. I suppose that will never change. There will always be that kind of thing. So anyone that's involved in it and gets kind of worried about those things, there's no point worrying. My opinion, and I suppose it's kind of one of the first times I've aired my opinion on the channel, and it's not something I intend to do the whole time. But just it's kind of been in conversation lately with a lot of people that have been talking to me about they've seen the big sharp rise in rates. But yeah, definitely I suppose they do need to come up some bit, but they do seem a bit astronomical, to be fair. So I told you we were going tanking. I told you a bit of a lie. We're not going tanking because we're going to move these now and they get set up for the morning. But what we will be doing is we'll be going tanking tomorrow. We're just after shuffling things around a bit and it's working a bit better for us. So we'll get this rig out moved, because I don't want to be moving it in the morning, and it'll spare us a bit of time too. So get moved and get set up, and we'll be on our way early tomorrow morning. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another day of spreading. Yesterday we were spreading as well, but look, I forgot. Well, I thought I forgot the camera, but when I looked, I did have it with me. But anyway, I was getting a bit of a tormenting yesterday, so I wasn't in the humour for filming too much. We had serious issues priming the pump and getting pressure up going out to the field, and also blowing out the pipe. And I rang a few lads, and a few lads who know what they're talking about, which is something that's hard to come by sometimes. But this is very hard to believe. If slurry looks watery, and anyone that's doing a lot of piping or used to piping and all this, slurry looks watery, it looks fine, it seems grand and all that. But imagine if someone is feeding an awful lot of ration, that slurry is very dense. It still looks liquidy, but it's dense, it's very heavy. But we just got pumping there now. He sent it down to me and worked perfectly this morning, so thanks be to God. But yeah, like I was saying, if you're feeding a lot of meal, it actually it makes the slurry more dense, and it's very hard to pump it and blow it out. So that's a kind of a funny one, an unusual one. But I'm sure anyone, like I said, that's pumping every day know these kind of things. But so when we're green and new and used to it, or not used to it, we're learning every day. But yeah, that worked perfectly now this morning, so I'm very happy with that. And it's a bit windy, alright, and we're splashing, so my back window's getting absolutely destroyed, but sure, what can we do? That's the joys of it. So yeah, I suppose that's it for now. Today is Friday, so tonight I'll hook up. Well, track was fairly destroyed, but the wind is just colossal here today, and no matter what way you go from it, it still blows on you. So what can we do? This will be our last job for the week, I'd imagine. There's an awful lot of rain coming in tomorrow or the day after, so there probably won't be a whole pile more spread. If we get out of here early enough, we might go tanking for a bit. There's a couple of jobs we could just get a few loads out and take the pressure off for a few lads. So hopefully, if that happens, we'll go and do it. But I suppose, I don't know whether I've covered it already, but we're on bower fittings, and a lot of lads say starts are the job, but we seem to be managing away fine with the bowers. No great issues with them so far anyway. So if it stays like that, I can't see any reason to go change. Well, we're just on our way now to agitate the tank. We'll get what we can out of it tonight. I suppose this will be our last chance. This is going for the trail and shoe. He's gone off with the other tank spreading another place, and Major might be going out this evening there as well, just to get the last flash to bill out. So put the pressure on for the evening, but sure, when you know it's only just for this evening, looking at the forecast, there'll be an awful shot of rain tomorrow or the day after, so I can't imagine there'll be a whole pile going out. Funnily enough, when we were piping there now today, we were so quick priming, and we were so quick spreading, and we were so quick blowing it out. Compared to yesterday, it was going on and going on and going on. But chatting to that, there was two lads advised me about Slurry being too dense, and I know one of them will definitely be watching this. So Christopher, thank you very much for your advice. And the other man was the man that supplied me the pump, Elliot. Thank you for being on the end of the phone, and you're giving us serious service, I must say. Any problem or anything, you will go through it thoroughly and fill us in on all of it. So even if you're not watching, or I'm not actually giving a plug or anything like that, but just being angry there, definitely a serious service. And that Cryman pump is some yoke to chop stuff. On the second day, our second or third day, I can't remember, but our second or third day out, I blocked the two splash plates, and that pump had not 1 ounce of silage or anything inside in it. It just chopped it and fired it out. Chatting to lads with pumps, they said just don't think the Bauer is the best at chopping and stuff. The Bauer probably would outperform, or maybe stay going a bit longer than a Cryman, but part of the world we're in, you're just going to meet foreign objects. It's just a part of the job. And of course, when we're new to piping, we don't fully understand what we can handle and what we can't handle, but that pump will handle absolutely anything. Also, it'll probably take a year or two to get lads used to the system and the way it works, and you know how watery the slurry needs to be and how careful you have to be of foreign objects going in and all that. But so I suppose that's kind of it. Like I say, a serious service from Binegri. Absolutely delighted with the pump. It's a monster of a thing to chop stuff. I haven't seen any others, but from talking to other guys, the rest of them just will not chop stuff like that. So I'm going to mix this tank, and I'll be on later on with the trail and shoe, probably be on the CBX, and I'll give you a wee update then. This field's actually an awful lot drier than I thought it would be. I didn't think we'd travel as much of it as we have, I didn't think we'd be able to travel as easily as we are, but we're travelling away nicely, and it doesn't seem to be giving us any grief whatsoever. There's about 40 acres here, and it's all paddocked, but as you can see, there's a savage cover of grass in it, so that's why we're shoeing it. While I could put the shoe on the pipe system, this stuff is a bit thick, so we just run into difficulties there, and that's why we're putting it out with the shoe. I suppose I'll be staying at this, look, well into the dark anyway. Tanks are fairly well up in this place, so I'll be trying to get as much of it out as possible, and so I won't be under pressure while they're calving cows and stuff like that. That seems to be a big thing by dairy lads. Slurry is something they just don't want to know about while they're calving cows. I suppose it's hard to blame them. Certain things we don't want to know about when we're very busy at silage, or we're very busy at other types of work. We just don't want to know about certain things. I'm not going to say too much because don't you know, I don't want to be really giving out, but strange feeling to come out with this, and it actually feels very strange to be using the tank. Even though I'm only using the pipe system with a couple of days, it does feel weird driving up and down the field with a tanker behind you and not watching pipes and stuff. But tanking is nice. If I had to pick between the two, I'd probably sit in the pipes, I'd say. At the moment anyway, that'd be my preference. I know you have to get out every now and again and reel up hose and reel out hose, but if it goes straight forward, it's a lot easier than this. You know, you've no driving on the road, or no driving up and down to paddocks or up and down rough passages and on roads and watching cars and stuff like that. The biggest thing is crossing the road with the pipe, which crossed an entrance to a house now the other day, and I just didn't get a chance yet to rig up a boom for the loading shovel, so we were using the farmer's tractor and we were tying the holes up, but to be honest with you, it's not a great job. I think it needs a gentle curve more than a sharp edge. As you can see, the pipe was kind of kinky there, and that was slowing down. Sorry, on again. That was slowing down the flow a nice bit. Other than that, look, I have a few little bits and pieces to sort out on it. Nothing serious, but just make life a bit easier. I tell her ram seals aren't great for folding the splash plates, so I need to look at them. I need to really address that, because it'll be so much easier than I have to get out, I have to pull the spoon and get out and push them up. So I must do that. And I know some lads were saying there that there was only 2 clamps on my rear jewels, and that they've seen them to loosen. They're locked. They can't loosen. They're over center type of a setup, and you put a pin through them so they can't loosen. The only thing that could loosen is the bolt squeezing my eye onto the rim, but that's not going to loosen that squeeze so tight, so there isn't much fear of it. It probably would. Look, if I knock across the set of, sorry, if I knock across the set of clamps for the rears, I will put them on. I have more clamps for the fronts, but fronts are slightly smaller, and if you squeeze them too much, as in if you put too much of a pull on, they will bend the bars up. So that has already happened now. The last, obviously whoever was using them jewels before, naturally enough you'd squeeze them as tight as you can, but it bent the thread of bars on them, so you probably have to thread out the thread of bars and get new ones. And I could put as many clamps on then as well. But yeah, I'll piece together a video tonight, and I'll put it up for at some stage in the middle of the day tomorrow. I like publishing videos of a Saturday. They seem to attract a good few views. I know a lot of the YouTubers publish on Sunday, so that probably dilutes the views some bit, you know. If you're going to watch one guy or one girl, you're probably not going to sit down and watch 3 or 4. Maybe you do, I don't know. But I like putting them up on the Saturday. I think I'm kind of out on my own through the Irish boys on that aspect, so that's kind of why I'm doing it. This will probably be a longer video. Like I say, look, I'm just trying a different thing. We'll give you one for the week in a longer format, and just kind of, I suppose there's more in it, because it's not just a big long video of me doing one small task. It's the whole day's, or sorry, the whole week's work. So let me know if this video is what you like, and stick a comment and give us a like, and if you haven't already subscribed, that would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, definitely trying a different format, and we'll see how it goes. Well, we're just on our way home here now, finished up for the evening. I suppose we could have spread another bit, but it was just, conditions were starting to get a bit poor. Only we only got a small drop of rain, and it kind of messed it up altogether. It really upset the ground, and look, we were starting to doing a bit of damage, so it was time to pull out of it. But anyway, he's out of trouble for another while, and that's the most important thing for the time being. But the year is slipping away. Sure, we're nearly in the middle of February now. In another month things will probably be totally different. So forecast is pretty bad, which is disappointing enough because we have a good bit more slurry to go out, and we have a good shot of hedge cutting to catch up on, and some saw cutting as well. So I'd like to be getting that finished. I think we have another 2 weeks to do that. Is it either the end of February or the end of March? I can't remember, but the hedge cutting season finishes around then anyway, so I'd like to get that done before time runs out altogether. You just end up under pressure, and then when you're under pressure you end up doing it when you shouldn't do it. Ground gets stored and messed up, and nobody's happy because I don't want to be rooting and tearing inside in the field. It's hard on my stuff as well as hard on the farmer's land, so it'll be nice to get 2 dry weeks. That's ambitious, I know, but it'll be lovely, and it'll give us a chance to catch up on all our kind of work. We'll get our slurry done and we'll get our hedge cutting finished with, and give you a bit of break then before the spring work will start, because what usually happens is basically what's happening this year: you get a couple of days and you have a burst, and then it broke for 10 and you can't do nothing, and then you get a burst again, and then the year is really shoving on, and everything is going on at the one time. You're trying to get slurry out and you're trying to do reseeding. If you get a right dry spell, you have a ball of mulching to do, which funny enough last year we didn't do. We didn't do a colossal amount of mulching. We don't, I suppose, what we normally do, but with the dry spring you'd probably be thinking we do a bit more. I'd say it was probably 2 years ago we done a serious amount of it. But it's just one of those things that comes and goes in cycles. It could be popular there for a year or two, and then it fades out. But it's like everything, there's a lot of them around now. We were the first ones around here with one, and there's a good few of them around there now. So there's only a limited amount of work for each one of them. There's no point everyone having the exact same thing, trying to do the exact same work, because there's nothing between you then, and everyone ends up doing a bit instead of doing a lot, and that's how the cycle goes. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. So I'm going to head home. I'm going to eat a bite, and I'm going to wash myself, and I'm going to get into editing, because there's a pile of me talking rubbish that I'll probably have to cut out, and there's a pile of me yawning, which he'll probably be wondering, is he stopped talking now, or what is he going to do? And so I'll cut them bits out of it, and I'll make it a bit more watchable than listening to me yawning and listening to big pauses and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it from me, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning into the channel. I know there's lots of people enjoying the channel. I love getting the messages and the feedback that everyone's enjoying it, and I'm enjoying making the content too. Look, it's just, I'm at this all the time, so it gives me a bit more interest and a bit more motivation to be talking away about what's going on, and when I know other people are genuinely interested in it, why not? So yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all about you, the viewer, and what you're enjoying. So thank you very much for watching and subscribing, and we'll see you next week. If you like this kind of format, give me a comment, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see what kind of format we're going from here on.